Hey, good morning everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss Pre-Market Report for June 2nd, 2017. I'm Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. Recently, we saw price push through 24.20 and continued throughout the session. Heading into that event, there was only a four-handle range throughout the pre-market for the most part. We got about a six-handle range into RTH. And it wasn't until price pushed beyond 24.17s where in the trading room we started to shift our bias strongly to the upside into 24.24 and beyond. And that was a good call here as this thing really continued higher. One thing that's bullish about this current market is the fact that it continues to hold above 2400 and is driving now. And what we mentioned to start the beginning of the week was that we have a narrow range on our hands down here, as indicated by the ADR indicator here. And what I mentioned was any failed move down, any failed breakout to the downside would likely lead to a slingshot move to the upside. That was one of the ideas to watch for today or heading into this week. And so you can see how that has played out so far. You can see how price has rallied into 34.5 and reaching a high of 37. So a very nice continuation, but the move is not over. What we mentioned before is that 2400 opens the door to 24.24 and 24.59.75. So we have a move into about 59.75 to 64.5 that could be ahead. Any pullback into 24.20 offers an opportunity to push this thing higher. As a matter of fact, any pullback into 2400 could still offer a bounce toward that final target over the next couple of weeks. So we'll be watching for that on a swing basis. On an intraday basis right now, really we've just been in an uptrending market. Very bullish here over the last day plus. And so pullbacks are to be bought. You can bring up your PMAs to watch for pullback opportunities. You can look to defend LVNs. So a return to 32s right here could offer an opportunity for 38s on a short-term basis and perhaps new highs. But right now, all pullbacks defended until proven otherwise. At some point, the uptrend may stop and you may see this thing fade new highs, fade new lows, and develop a trading range. So the first rotation into the LVN may be an opportunity to buy it back up. And then you may see this thing do something like this. So just keep that in mind. All right, let's take a look here at crude. Here's crude oil. We've got a nice little bounce back above 47s here on a short-term basis. If you look at this on a higher time frame basis, the one thing I mentioned in yesterday's market outlook, for those of you that joined, maybe if you saw the video or the recording afterward, I mentioned that crude oil right now is really chopping around composite VPOC. There's been some nice swings here, but the edges are where it's at. And the one clear level that we had in view was 49.20 and how it had become resistance after it was support and after it went offered, and that implied a move downward to come into 46.69. We've already got that already played out, and we could see a continuation toward 45.20 because of the current down move. This hasn't been a very clean move, but overall any bounces could still be selling opportunities as this thing perhaps drops into the 45s after reaching the target at 46.69 already. So right now, not a great spot because we are right in the middle. We could see more chop around this zone. Much better to wait for the edges out here. So we'll be looking at being more active at the edges. Right now, the short-term swing is downward, but that could be changing with this bounce off 47s on a short term. So let's take a look at the intraday time frame here. You'll see the 47s, a very clear level. Right there, 47.10, a big time level. That's a level we focused on in the trading room. We finally reached it. Price goes through it, tries to make a resistance and does. Here's a failed new low. Price pushes back above and starts to work its way back off the 47. So right now, on an intraday basis, keep an eye on 47s. Keep an eye on 47.30. Rotations into that zone likely to be defended by bulls for a pushback toward 48.03. All right, let's take a look at, I wanted to look at gold futures. One key level we've been talking about all week is the 1260s and how we've been in an uptrending market, and as long as 1260 remains intact, we could see more strength ahead. We've had lower highs here day over day, lower lows here the last 2 days. 1260 is a very important level where bulls have been defending for several days now, but we haven't seen a continuation to new highs just yet. So right now, last ditch effort for bulls to defend 1260 for a shot at 1280 and perhaps higher. Any failure to hold 1260 could rotate this thing back toward 1240. So right now 1260 is the key level to watch, at least on a swing basis. One other key level here to watch is in silver. This is something we talked about in the market outlook yesterday. We also talked about this in our trading room. We've had a nice little up move here that's played out over the last couple of few weeks, and recently price had this rejection day where price dropped down, ran some stops, and then closed back within range. That is typically a failed or false breakdown and can lead to a slingshot move up, very similar to the ES move we talked about earlier. So the idea was to defend somewhere in the 1210 to 1215 zone. Today's low comes right into 1211, rather 1711. So we were looking at 1714, 1717, somewhere in that zone. It got down to 1711s for an opportunity to defend, because this could lead to the next swing move up, which would take you into about 1775 to 1780. So that's a short-term opportunity here where this thing could play out very soon, as long as price remains above 17 evens. All right, that's it for now. Let's see how this thing plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and happy Friday.